I promise you're not crazy. But your relationship might be stuck in a cycle that is. Most fights in marriage aren't really about what they seem. It's not the dishes or the tone, it's the disconnect. You know the moment, it starts small, a joke that doesn't land, a comment that hits wrong, and suddenly you're both standing on emotional cliffs, trying to figure out how you got there. That was us this past Easter. We had a beautiful morning, a walk in the park with our dog, soaking in the sunshine, feeling connected and celebrating the joy of our risen Lord. We were feeling light and blessed, ready to enjoy the day with our family. Then, just before the family gathering, a comment in the driveway spiraled things. What started as a joke turned into hurt feelings and defensiveness. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Shannon, your Barefoot Librarian. After years of diving into research, earning a master's degree in holistic education, and working as a librarian and teacher, I've learned one thing for sure. Advice on relationships, like any other area of life, is often full of well-meaning fluff. But when I stumbled across Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs, something clicked. His research and real-world examples cut through the noise, offering a framework that feels simple but transformative. This is the first in a two-part series on the book Love and Respect. Today we're diving into the crazy cycle, a concept Dr. Emerson Eggerichs uses to explain why many couples feel stuck in the same kinds of patterns and conflicts and misunderstanding. Whether you're married or navigating another close relationship, his insights might just help you recognize patterns you didn't even realize were holding you back. So, what is the crazy cycle? In simple terms, it's a pattern that many couples fall into where without love, she reacts without respect. And without respect, he reacts without love. The crazy cycle is essentially a loop of emotional withdrawal and misunderstanding. It's easy to get caught in, but difficult to break free from. At the core of this cycle is a deep-seated need we all have: love and respect. When one partner doesn't feel loved or respected, they begin reacting in ways that only perpetuate the cycle, making things worse. Here's how it works. For women, love is like oxygen. It's essential for their emotional well-being. Without it, they can't thrive. For men, respect is like oxygen. It's what fuels their sense of value and emotional health. Without respect, they feel drained. Obviously, both love and respect are necessary for everyone, just prioritized differently, like food versus oxygen. You need both, but oxygen is always the top priority. Let me give you a closer look about how this actually plays out. In our situation, my husband Wes made a joke. He was trying to be playful, but I took it too literally. I'm very literal and do not understand sarcasm or jokes in general, so he has to put up with that. Anyway, I misunderstood and got a little bit hurt. That's when I started feeling unloved. Instead of addressing it right away, I pulled back. I didn't want to start a fight, so I walked away, emotionally distancing myself. This, of course, made Wes feel disrespected. He didn't understand why I was shutting down, and that only made him feel more frustrated. As a result, he started withdrawing a little bit too, which made me feel even more alone in that moment. And just like that, the crazy cycle was in full motion. Now, Dr. Eggerichs explains that one of the reasons we can get stuck in this cycle is because men and women often hear and see things differently. Think of it like wearing blue hearing aids and glasses for him and pink hearing aids and glasses for her. In a relationship, men are often more focused on respect and women more focused on love, like we said. So when they communicate, they're interpreting words and actions through these different filters. He might say something that to him sounds like a harmless comment, but to her it might feel unloving because she's filtering it through that specific lens. On the other hand, when she reacts in a way that feels hurtful or distant, he might feel disrespected and not understand why, because he's filtering everything through that lens of needing respect. This difference in perception leads to misunderstandings that only fuel the crazy cycle. Dr. Eggerichs, a pastor and the founder of Love and Respect Ministries, has spent over 30 years researching and counseling couples. His deep understanding of marriage dynamics, combined with his biblical insights, has helped countless couples navigate the complexity of their relationships. In Love and Respect, he explains that most marriages don't fail from hate, but from unmet needs that go misunderstood. This powerful quote speaks directly to the heart of the crazy cycle. It's not that partners stop loving each other, it's that they stop understanding each other's needs, which often leads to emotional withdrawal and frustration. The crazy cycle feels so hard to break because it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking the problem is the other person. You feel unloved, so you withdraw, or feel disrespected, so you react defensively. But when both partners are stuck in this cycle, they're not communicating, they're reacting. and that makes it nearly impossible to resolve conflicts in a healthy way. So how do we break the crazy cycle? The first step is recognizing when you're in it. Awareness is powerful. When you can see the pattern, you can start to interrupt it. Even if only one partner changes their reaction, it can break the cycle. For example, instead of withdrawing emotionally, try addressing the issue right away. Ask questions, share your feelings, and make sure your partner understands where you're coming from. Consider the motive. You can even literally say,
"Hey, sweetheart, please consider my motive. ...
It's about shifting the cycle from reacting to responding with love and respect, even when you don't feel like it. In our case, if either of us had recognized what was happening, we could have avoided the spiral. I could have simply said,
"Are you joking or serious? Because if you're being serious, that feels really out of character and I don't appreciate it."
But I didn't do that. Instead, I assumed the worst and let the miscommunication take over. And instead of letting it sit there, Wes could have said, "Hey babe, why are you shutting down? Did something not land right? Please don't walk away, let's talk." If either of us had taken a moment to pause and communicate, the cycle could have been broken right then and there. The crazy cycle isn't always something that can be fixed immediately, but once you understand it, you'll have the tools to stop the pattern before it gets out of control. And that's the first step toward healthier, more fulfilling relationships. Section 2, understanding the emotional disconnect. For her, love is the heart of what a woman needs in a relationship. It's her emotional anchor. Dr. Eggerichs draws from 1 Corinthians 13, where love is described as patient, kind, and not easily angered. For a woman, love isn't just about grand gestures, it's in the everyday reassurance, in the affection, and the understanding that she's cherished, listened to, and cared for. When love is absent, she feels like she's emotionally alone in the relationship. Without this emotional connection, a woman may start to react in ways that seem like she's being difficult or demanding. For example, she may withdraw emotionally, like I did, become distant or cold, she might begin criticizing her partner, or turning a small issue into a bigger problem. I'm also guilty on pretty much all of those accounts from time to time. This isn't because she wants to fight or create distance, it's because she's not feeling the love she needs to feel safe and valued. As Dr. Eggerichs points out, she reacts without respect because she's not feeling loved. Now, from his perspective, her withdrawal or criticism may seem deeply disrespectful. Instead of understanding that she's acting out of an emotional need, he feels like he's being attacked or ignored. This sets the stage for the crazy cycle to spin faster as he responds to what he perceives as disrespect instead of recognizing her emotional need for love. For him, respect is the cornerstone of what a man needs in a relationship, but it's often misunderstood. Respect for a man doesn't mean admiration in a broad, abstract sense. It's more about being treated with honor, being trusted, and not feeling belittled or controlled. Dr. Eggerichs explains that respect for a man is often shown in small ways: how we communicate with him, the tone of voice we use, our body language, and whether or not we make him feel like his voice really matters. A simple example might be the way we ask him to take care of something. If a woman's tone comes across as harsh, nagging, or controlling, or if her body language suggests impatience or disappointment, it can feel deeply disrespectful to her husband. He starts to feel like he can't get anything right, that he's not trusted, and that he's constantly being criticized. This creates a pressure that can lead him to emotionally shut down, or worse, get angry in response. And here's where it gets tricky. From his perspective, this emotional shutdown or outburst is his way of protecting himself from feeling disrespected. He's retreating to his man cave, so to speak, not because he doesn't care, but because he feels like he's failing in the eyes of the person he values most. This leaves her feeling like he doesn't love her anymore because she interprets his distance as a sign that his affection is gone. The crazy cycle doesn't come from a place of evil intentions. It's a pattern that happens when both partners are hurting and don't realize they're feeding into each other's pain. Instead of calmly communicating, they react, often in ways that escalate the situation. Take a common example. She says,
"Why do you always leave your socks out?"
For her, this might seem like a small practical concern, but deep down, it's about something bigger. Maybe she feels like she's the only one taking responsibility for the household tasks. Or maybe it's been one of those days where she feels unseen. The socks, they're a symbol of his lack of care or concern. But when he hears it, he's not hearing the frustration and hurt she's feeling. Instead, he's hearing it through his blue hearing aids lens, tuned to the frequency of respect. To him, it sounds like she's saying,
"You're always messing up. You're not good enough."
It feels like an attack on his character, and he reacts defensively, either by brushing her off, getting irritated, or saying something like, "I'll clean them up later." Now she's hurt again. She's not just frustrated with the socks, but she feels like he doesn't even care enough to listen, to acknowledge her feelings, or help her out. Maybe she pulls back emotionally, or she might get colder toward him, and the cycle keeps going. Here's the kicker. Neither of them is trying to be hurtful. She's reacting because she feels unloved and unseen, while he's reacting because he feels disrespected. Neither of them knows how to break the cycle because they're operating from their own sense of hurt and misunderstanding. Her pink hearing aids for love and his blue hearing aids for respect distort everything. But imagine this. What if, in that moment, one of them recognized the cycle for what it was? She could say,
I know it sounds petty, but when the socks get left out, I feel like I'm the only one to keep things in order. I really just need to feel like we're both in this together.
which would make it a lot easier for him to respond with something like, I didn't realize it bothered you that much. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I'll try to be more mindful. If even just one of them had acknowledged the other's feelings and asked for clarification, they could have stopped the cycle right there. Instead of reacting from hurt, they could have communicated with love and respect. The crazy cycle isn't about bad intentions. It's about a breakdown in communication where each partner feels like their emotional needs aren't being met. And that's where true change begins. Section 3, how to break the cycle. It can be done, even if only one person changes. You don't have to wait for your spouse to change first. As Dr. Eggerichs puts it, you don't fix the marriage by fixing your spouse. You start by changing your own input. The first step is to recognize when you're in the crazy cycle. Identify those moments where you feel unloved or disrespected because these are your emotional triggers. Understanding your own reaction helps you break the pattern because science shows that when you get emotional, you are not thinking clearly and will not respond rationally. When you can spot the cycle and decide to step out of it, even just one person can make a difference. If you stop reacting and start responding with love and respect, you've broken the cycle. A simple exercise is to pinpoint your common crazy cycle fight. Write it down. This helps you see the cycle clearly while your brain is working properly and work toward breaking it. Next time it happens, you can recognize it in the moment because you've already prepped ahead of time, and try responding differently. For her, a small word of respect can go a long way. Something like,
I really appreciate when you help out.
For him, a small gesture of love, like sending a quick text to show that you care, can shift the whole dynamic. These little actions might seem small, but they can make a huge difference. Responding with love and respect, even when it's hard, can break the cycle and start a new pattern of healthier communication. My friend, take heart. I promise you're not crazy. You're just likely caught in the crazy cycle. The good news, now that you have a name for it, you've already taken the first step toward freedom. Recognizing the pattern is powerful, and it means you're ready to break the cycle. In our next video, we'll dive into how to get your relationship unstuck using the energizing cycle and 2 simple acronyms, COUPLE, C-O-U-P-L-E, and CHAIRS, C-H-A-I-R-S. These tools will help you shift from reacting to responding with love and respect. If you'd like to follow along with the book, Love and Respect by Dr. Emerson Eggerichs, the link is in the description below. Feel free to grab your copy and read along with us. Very quickly, before you go, I would love to hear from you. Comment below with the moment you realized you were caught in the crazy cycle, or share this video with someone who might need it. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other in building healthier relationships. That's all for now. Take care, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.